Good morning, this is Paul from Hot and Humid Hydroponics. I'm doing a quick video this morning. It's just a simple video update that I do probably at least once a week or once every other week to document the progress of my hydroponic garden here in a suburb of Tampa, Florida called Riverview. And today is May the 5th. It's about 72 degrees. It's 7 a.m. in the morning. And everything is going really well. We had a major rainstorm yesterday. A little bit of a microburst, did a little bit of damage to the plants, nothing crazy, nothing that did anything detrimental. A couple of leaves, a couple of branches knocked off, but it's to be expected. That's just how things roll. This is my bean tower. So what you're looking at here, for those who don't know, this is called a Dutch bucket hydroponic system. And all that means is that I've got non-organic growing material inside there, and that is called there's perlite in there, and the nutrients are inside that 50-gallon tank that's buried into the ground. It's just a Walmart tote that has the biggest one they've got out there for about 20 bucks, and there's a pump in there, and that's an air pump right there, and that keeps air recirculating. Long story short, pumps out of that line, goes over the top all the way down to the very, very end. And then there's these little T-risers that split off 1/4-inch flex pipe down into each one of these buckets, about 1 inch or 2 from the root ball of these plants. I have them currently right now on a 15-minute on, 15-minute off timer during the daylight hours, and one 15-minute segment during the nighttime, just to give them a little sip. Some people don't do them at night. The reason for that is that these plants do need oxygen, and if in Tampa, Florida, I have found that if you run 24/7, especially on planters with large fruiting plants, you will run out of oxygen in the water. And if the plants are solely dedicated on oxygen in the water versus oxygen in the air, and yes, plants actually breathe air from both sources, then you'll literally drown your plants. So I'd made that mistake this time of year last year, which by the way was my first year in doing this. And this time of this year, my plants were wilting and I had problems. And in an anaerobic situation, you get what's called pythium and root rot, and that's bad for your roots, etc. So by doing it 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off, it gives the plants a chance to rest, drink up, dry out, and they get another sip. So I just want to share that with you guys. Everything's going really well. Right here we've got some peppers, and there's 2 different types of peppers this year. We've got these are like a bush pepper, and they're growing like crazy. I've been wanting to try one but they're starting to come in a little bit. I gotta pluck this little guy off here. And you see that little orange tip? These will all turn bright yellow or bright orange. And that's how you know when they're ready. Over here I've got a bell pepper variety. This one is the one that took a couple of branches off from the storm. Some more of these bush peppers. Now I love these little bush peppers. Let me tell you why. They're very compact. They constantly fruit. And I think I'm going to stick with those on a year-round basis if they'll survive during the summer. I have a feeling that they will, just because of how compact they are. It'll just get bigger and bigger, and will produce more of those little peppers. And again, for convenience sake, they're beautiful. You pick them, you wash them, you throw them in the salad. You don't have to prepare them, and that's just kind of how we like things. Why? Because I have 3 children, and my wife stays at home, and they're under 5 years of age, and anything I could do to make things convenient for my wife is great. And we love fresh salads and fresh peppers. So as we're moving on along here, this is kind of this was an idea that went wrong, and I'll probably never do this again like this. So this isn't like a mistake. Well, okay, it's an unexpected mistake because I'm getting excellent results. So last season, my cucumbers, and they did okay. And again, it probably has to do with the fact that that whole 24-hour day, 7-day a week, not getting enough oxygen. Well, now that I've switched up to this simple timing change up, they're exploding. And I've got peppers that are buried, this pepper plant that's buried right now, and I'm really concerned about it getting the right amount of light. It is a very high possibility. I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to cut this PVC down, and I'm going to condense these up a little bit for this season. It'll mean that I'm probably going to lose some PVC because I'm going to probably re-separate them for tomatoes during the fall season, but so be it. PVC's $10 for $2.50 for 10 feet. So I'll give this monster a little more room to grow. And lo and behold, next to them is a huge zucchini plant. Again, another one of those things that I've never grown before. It's taken off. I've gotten so much zucchini so far, and it's a tigress zucchini plant from Johnny Seeds. Absolutely awesome. Oh, and in the cucumber mix here, these are they should be separated, but they're not. There is a tasty green cucumber in there, though it's a very standard variety that you can get from almost every seed company. And then there's a Jacksonville Classic F1 hybrid. Both of these are very prolific, and they're very resistant to powdery mildew and some mosaic viruses that naturally attack these plants. So I have a different variety, a pickle variety that I really liked from last season. I mean, they're delicious, but they just got beat up and they're too weak. And I've tried them a couple of times, and they've both gotten big, and then once something bit them, it just was over. These guys have been pretty bulletproof up to this point. So we will see how that goes for the rest of the season. Over here is Patty Pan. We got a little Patty Pan guy going down over here. I'm not sure if he's ready to be picked or not, but it looks like it might be. And so I've got a couple of Patty Pan down there. This is really new for me. This is watermelon. So this is like a black crimson sweet watermelon. I am super excited about this. And that is currently trellised up right now. Now what you see over here is a vacant area. I'm actually going to be bringing over some netting. And so I'm training all these up so that they will go this way. So that should be pretty good. This is a moringa tree. And simply put, there you go. That's a moringa tree. It was last season about 20 feet tall, and I had to cut it down. Try to replant the other half. Didn't work. It was too late in the season. Over here is there's a very special tomato plant. This is a tomato plant from a seed from the University Texas A&M. And aside from their football status, they are a very big ag college. And they developed probably one of the most disease-resistant tomatoes on the market, specifically to tomato yellow leaf curl virus. Now, for those who don't know what tomato yellow leaf curl virus is, the whitefly, which is the bane of our existence down here in the south, will come in here and pierce the plant, suck some juice, but at the same time, if it's transmitting it, it will transmit tomato yellow leaf curl virus. And they also carry a couple of number of viruses that affect watermelons, so they're pretty nasty. I do have to spray a lot of organics to keep that down. As we're looking over here, the reason why I grew this is because this is my first year with the seeds. They're very pricey, but they put on a nice beefsteak tomato, and I had some tomatoes from last season from the University of Florida. They were very, very good, very tasty, but they just were not as disease resistant. So I just want to see how disease resistant these are, and how does that play out against flavor and so forth. So over here, something new. I'm kind of getting into cherry tomatoes, because cherry tomatoes, they just grow so much and they do very well in the heat. So one thing about the spring season in Florida is that at some point we're going to hit a temperature wall here at around June, July, where it's going to get so hot. And most tomatoes will not, they may flower, but they won't pollinate, just because, or set fruit, because of the high heat in the evening and during the daytime highs. These are pretty high heat tolerant, and they should set fruit through the whole season, so long as I keep certain aspects of it in place, i.e. water, nutrients, and so forth. Well, but again, it's just an experiment. These are a yellow variety. You can see there's a couple of yellow ones on there already, called Sun Gold for that matter. I tasted them over at Grace's Hydroponics over there in Tampa. Really good guys, by the way. If you don't really know where to start and you need to buy some things and you kind of want to get to know some people, Steve Grace, his wife, and his daughter are just absolutely awesome people, and they will give you great guidance. And they actually sell probably some of the best and healthiest plants around. I mean, you can get stuff over at the big box stores. Again, not knocking it. I go to the big box stores for a lot of things, but when it comes to my tomato plants or my starters, if I'm not growing it from a seed, I know that they've been taken care of from day one when you pick them up over at Grace's. So that said, let me go back to this guy over here. So this one has a funny story, and I've said this in another video. I bought the seeds. I sold a lot of them. I sold one pack to a friend of mine over at Worms Way, and he's the manager over there in Tampa, and that's a hydroponic store as well. Awesome people as well. Also very, very knowledgeable, just in 2 different locations. And all my seedlings died. So he actually gave me this plant from one of his actual seedlings that he was able to grow. And again, I thank him. That's Rick Breckenridge out there, also a very big help to me in the past. This is going back to the stuff from from Grace's Hydroponics. This is a blue tomato. These are really dark blue. So very, very cool tomato. They will ripen up and turn about as blue as a blueberry. So I'm pretty excited about that. I had one of those at the same time as the Sun Gold. I fell in love with both of them. Very tasty. One thing, not very disease resistant from my understanding. Awesome hybrids, but I got to take care of them a lot more than I do the other ones. So again, sprayings of antifungals and insecticides appropriately when they are needed. I make sure that I keep on top of it because I want to make sure they're prolific all the way through the season. Finally, just kind of going over the towers. They're a little bit barren because I've stripped a lot of it out, eaten a lot of it. This is an amazing head of lettuce. So this variety is from Johnny Seeds. This Johnny Seeds variety is called Starfighter lettuce. It's in a pelleted form, makes it easier to germinate. I'll be growing a ton more of that. That is just done awesome in the heat here. And I've had no problems, no anything. Just absolutely awesome. So down here is amaranth. This is also known in the islands as callaloo. This is like a spinach, but it just makes a beautiful addition to your salads. I've got some red oak leaf lettuces here that are very good, and a couple other lettuces I've just honestly forgot. I got some carioca in here. I don't have my identifiers out, and I just didn't pay attention. Rainbow Light Swiss chard. What's there to say about it? They're actually beautiful. Even if you don't like Swiss chard, you want to grow it because it looks like neon in your garden. So I grow it because I got a lot of people at my church that like it, and I throw it in my salads. I eat it raw. Some people cook it up. I'm not a big fan of cooked greens unless it's like a quick sauteed spinach, but these taste great. Again, moving on. This is beautiful fennel. I'll be juicing that along with all this kale that I've grown. More kale's going in here soon, just to kind of keep it perpetuating, maybe transplant a couple of it, and that's it. Oh, almost forgot. The Mizuna. This is like been so prolific, I can't even eat it all. So this is Kyoto Mizuna, and it is a very, very extremely tender, very fragile, mild mustard from Asia, and it just makes just nice texture in the salads. So that's pretty much it, guys. The summaries. Oh, for those who are wondering what these are part of my insect defense. This is a sticky trap. So sticky traps, well, they grab bugs, but they really try to target aphids and whiteflies. So just to share with you, that is exactly why I have them out here. I accidentally just ripped that off, so I'll put that up there, and we'll deal with that when I get back home from work. So, anyways, again, this is Paul from Hot and Humid Hydroponics. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. And if you're interested in hydroponics, go on Facebook and type in hot space N as in November space hydroponics. I'm sorry, hot space N space humid space hydroponics, and just ask to join the Facebook group. And there's lots of great people on there that make it really easy to be successful. They are very, very helpful. They will walk you through everything. And if you have any general questions, it's just a really, really nice group that's out there to help everybody. Again, if you have any questions, my name is Paul. Thank you for joining us. Have a great morning.